everybody, this is Jace from Marshall Made Collectibles, and today we are going back to a picture review I did. And this is of the incredible Toys McCoy Indiana Jones figure. Now this figure is older. It came out in, I want to say, 98 or 99. So it's almost a 20-year-old toy. The thing is, it is literally, and pun intended, I guess, it is one of the holy grails of Indiana Jones collectible figures. Now, when I did the picture review, I did the pictures of the box, the contents inside, and everything like that, but I did it without opening it. And then I had a friend contact me and said, hey, don't you want to really do like a review, an open box? And that friend of mine, his name's Mike, and I said, yeah, but since this figure is so rare, I did not want to open mine because the accessories are sealed on a red card. And he was kind enough to send me his that he has already opened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through like I do a normal review, showing the content, showing the box, everything the way it is. And then I'm going to show his figure, which is open, to show you this classic piece of Indiana Jones memorabilia. Now, to start with, Toys McCoy really outdid themselves with the packaging on this. Now, I want you to remember, 20 years ago, this predates Hot Toys, so figures didn't come with stands, you didn't get interchangeable hands, you didn't really get high-class accessories. The closest that we ever got to something like that before would have been like Dragon, which was, you know, even a little bit after that. But even those, the quality was sometimes extremely fragile, and those pieces tend to have broken. I also want to do a little comparison because I'm really tired of people comparing this figure to the Relic Hunter figure, which they are nowhere near even close to being similar. So okay, let me just go ahead and first do the packaging. On the packaging on the front, you get the genuine Toys McCoy Quality Ultimate Seeker. And you get the Indiana Jones logo. This was licensed. It's a beautiful picture on the front. And this box is incredible because of the way they designed it. On the side, you get a picture of the figure. And it shows him in his full garb. And we're going to go over some of that on the back here too. On the back, it shows you everything that he comes with, and it also shows a horse that you could get separately. The cool thing about the horse is actually like the old Mark's Best of the West horses. It has free-rolling wheels on the bottom of the hooves and all the gear, so it looks like the Arabian horse from the movie. They have a nice little setup of Indy grabbing the idol, and that's all done with the figure. And then it shows you what he comes with. He comes with like the bag of sand. He comes with the idol, which is actually gold plated. No skimping on that. You get the hat, which is made out of vinyl, but it's highly detailed. You get his revolver, which is die-cast metal. You get a whip, which is braided leather. You get the jacket, which this is where this figure, even though it may be not as detailed as, like, say, a Hot Toys looks, or what am I trying to say? For like the scale, Hot Toys stuff probably looks more in scale and keeping with it. Hot Toys also has quality control issues where a lot of their leather goods flake over time and what have you because it's made out of a pleather. This jacket, and what Toys McCoy is actually known for in Japan, is their leather goods. And that's exactly what they did here. The jacket is made out of real leather. And there's internal pockets, the zipper works. Now the zipper might not look into scale of what we're used to today, but 20 years ago, this was mind-blowing. He does come with his satchel or his bag. It comes with a shirt that actually had real buttons. His holster, which is leather, the whip belt with the clasp on it, which is leather, and he came with a doll stand, which is crazy. That stuff never happened back then. He came with socks, again, something that nobody ever thought to include with a figure back then was that kind of detail, especially something you didn't see. He had molded boots. Kind of think of like G.I. Joe rubbery kind of boots, but they were highly detailed. The pants were highly detailed. They had working pockets. And you can even see here the detail on the belt. You had the metal belt buckle. On his web belt, the brass belt buckle is actually metal. A lot of detail went into making this guy, and a lot of love. You can tell they really love the source material. On the other side, we got another picture of the figure, and he is holding his revolver. And then we're back to the front. On the bottoms and the top, you have a picture of the head sculpt and the Indiana Jones. And what makes this box really, really cool is it actually opens up. And this, again, predates your flat boxes and magnetic stuff. And immediately you see a write-up on Indiana Jones. And it gives you a limited edition number. So it came with a certificate of authenticity right on the box. And mine happens to be 1,084 out of only 3,000 made. Now 3,000 may sound like that's a lot of toys. That's a drop in the bucket of what is made today. And especially with a character as popular as Indiana Jones. And this is where it really gets close to amazing. And I'm going to move this around so it stays in camera shot for everybody. You got different images from the movie. Almost kind of reminds me, I know this is going to sound really strange to some and a lot of people aren't going to pick this up, but if you're an old fart like me, you will. It reminds me of the old like Topps baseball cards, movie cards, or even like old Viewmasters. You got, Indiana Jones here, he's riding the Arabian horse, and it has like a little caption underneath, "Chase to the Ark." And then you got a picture of him and Salah picking up the Ark from the Well of Souls, and it says Ark of the Covenant in the Well of Souls. So that's kind of nostalgic for me, but you got a whole slew of them, and it's all different images from the movie. On this side, you have all your accessories, and this is why I will not open mine. These are all on a molded plastic on a red card, and you've got the belt, you've got the whip, you've got his holster, you got the gun, the hat, the bag of sand. You have a hand. Now, this is one of the things we'll touch on in a minute. And he has the golden idol. He's got his ammo bag or his satchel, and you have a little user instruction manual that came with this figure, which, again, unheard of for the time. Now, one of the neat things about Indy himself is the doll was made on a classic collection G.I. Joe body. And I'm going to show you what the underlining body looks like later. I'm not going to undress Mike's. I have a classic collection body so I can show you. But what they did is they modified the wrist so you could change out hands. Not something that was done 20 years ago. So they were way ahead of like the curve. It was like the pinnacle of like a collectible action figure. And what it did is it allowed you to have hands that could hold the revolver, hold the whip, and they had a hand that was specially designed just to hold the idol. Now that's cool. To me, that's cool. And your idol was actually made out of metal, and like I said before, it was gold plated. So you had all this cool stuff going on, and let's see that we've already gone over that part of the image. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually bring in Mike's figure so you can see him. And let's go ahead and let's see if I can push that back and get that to stay. That's wanting to close up. There we go. I'll just put my phone as a doorstop. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to bring out Mike's figure. Now, Mike's figure has a little bit of dust on it. I was going to clean him up, but I'm thinking, it's perfect for Indiana Jones. He should have dust. And that's the Toys McCoy Indiana Jones. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff he comes with. There's his revolver. Let's see if I can focus. There we go. And the cool thing about this revolver, it is all die-cast metal. You don't have to worry about breaking it. It does have a little hammer that actually is spring-loaded, and the cylinder turns. Now, it doesn't open up, but I mean, it is really well done, and it has a nice weight to it. Like I was saying, he comes with multiple hands. There we go. Very detailed. And what's cool is they're on like a cap system, so his actual hands on the figure itself are almost like a peg system. So you just pop off the old ones and you put the new ones on, and they're held on with friction. And here's the idol. And the idol is beautifully done. And it has a nice heft to it too. It's got a good weight. Let's see. I think we'll go ahead and just take off the hat real quick. Now the hat is actually one of my favorite sculpted hats. I know a lot of people really like the Hot Toys hat, and they will get that for customs and have you. This to me is like one of the best ones done. It has the right size hat band and everything. Now the hat band might be a little glossy to some people's taste, but again, we're talking about something that came out 20 years ago, and it's just beautifully done. I think we'll go ahead and touch on this now. He does come with a stand, again, unheard of, and it's a Toys McCoy metal stand, and it's the kind of stand they offered with like their Steve McQueen figures and everything like that. But this is the thing that really knocks me out, and for a 20-year-old figure, see if we can focus, and I'm going to do some HD photos at the end. There we go. That head sculpt, as many companies have put out Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones head sculpts, like Sideshow and what have you, and the sculpt may have been there, but the paint apps were always off. This head sculpt just nailed Harrison Ford. I mean, he has the little scar on his chin. The paint apps are excellent. And he looks normal with the hat on. You don't end up with that Sir Topham hat, kind of like guy at the big top kind of look. Again, jacket is all leather. You never have to worry about this jacket falling apart. Actually, as it ages, it's probably going to look better. It has an inside pocket. You've got that really nice shirt, like his adventurer shirt with the stripes down and the little micro buttons. The satchel has snaps to keep it closed. You have a leather strap. Again, like I was saying, the web belt has an actual brass buckle. You have a heavy-duty leather belt, which is the gun belt and for the whip. And you can see the whip is actually braided leather. I mean, it's just crazy amount of detail. And then you have the leather holster that the gun fits in. The pants are highly detailed. They have the little pockets in the back. And again, like I was saying, he does have his socks. And you have some very nicely sculpted boots on his feet. And again, the little dust that Mike's got on this guy actually makes him look like he's been out in the field. But he's a beautiful figure. And I can see why this would be the grail of many people's collection. I was really happy to get mine, and I got him not that long ago. And I was lucky enough to find him from a Japanese seller for like $175. And I'm thinking, well, he's going to be opened, he's going to be beat up, it's going to be something I will have to fix up. I'm sure the box is roached and everything like that. And he came to me in pristine condition, like he had never been touched. And the accessories were still sealed. So I was completely blown away by being able to get him for that price, because normally you do not see these guys for lower than like $500 or $600. Look at that, just beautiful. Even with a hat on, doesn't look screwed up at all. Now I wanted to compare him to the Relic Hunter that everyone's like, oh, the Relic Hunter, it's a Toys McCoy knockoff. It's just the same. It is so not. Okay, first I'm going to show you the underlining bodies. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. The classic collection Joe body is what Toys McCoy used for a lot of their stuff. And you're going to have to excuse this one because the hands are kind of messed up, but this is one of the ones I had laying around in a part drawer. And that's the kind of body that they used. It's got, it's very durable. I mean, you could throw that thing off of a roof and it's not going to get destroyed. But it's got almost like really dense rubber upper arms, lower arms, legs, everything. The only stuff it's like made out of ABS plastic is the chest area and the pelvis. Everything else on him is like really dense rubber. So you really don't have to worrying about destroying that. The Relic Hunter figure, on the other hand, what I did is I've taken the Relic Hunter head and put it on another body because I really wanted to show what the body looks like that they put their figure on. And this is the Relic Hunter body. First of all, you got bendy hands, which for some reason I've never seen one that's not tacky. The body is almost like a really hard ABS plastic throughout. You have really flimsy joints. In fact, if you look right there, I've got a pin coming out of the knee joint. And this body or figure part has never been played with, posed, or anything. This just came off of a new Relic Hunter that was taken apart. The feet are very loose. But where Relic Hunter does, and I'm not shitting all over this figure, and I'm not doing it to be mean. I'm just really tired of the comparisons of people being like, oh, it's the same thing. It is not the same thing. There are some good qualities with the Relic Hunter figure, and there's things, part of it, which can be salvaged and used if you wanted to make a custom Indiana Jones. And considering the price of what a Toys McCoy goes for, I can understand it. But comparing to are apples and oranges. Let's go ahead and bring out mine. Now, again, I said it's on a different body. Now, some of the things that are decent on it, this is, I'm going to move these bodies out of the way since we just showed the comparisons. This is the Relic Hunter figure. Now, the only difference between how this guy comes and how he stands there is, like I said, he's on a different body. I do not have his machete, which is in a pleather sling, which is nice. The machete is actual leather. And because I have him on a different body, I do not have the shoes and socks. Now, he did come with little socks, and he does come with like little leather-like boots, which is kind of nice, but they do not look like what Indiana Jones wore. These look more like combat boots that are in brown leather, and the boots that Indy wore were more like, I would think, like World War II boots. Now, the things that they got right on this figure is the jacket is okay. I'm not sure if it's real leather or pleather, but it seems to be a decent quality. The belts are decent. The shirt is kind of jacked up because the buttons do not line up. You can see the snaps. Nowhere near the quality of the Toys McCoy. The satchel, again, nowhere near the quality of the Toys McCoy. This is a really dark green, and the leather strap, it is leather, is kind of jacked on it. It doesn't really match up. Now, the belt is okay on this. Of course, the thing that holds the whip is kind of outstretched, and it really needs to be shorter. But the holster seems to be pretty decent. And he does, we'll go ahead and open this up. He does come with a revolver as well. The revolver is a little oversized compared to the Toys McCoy. It does have the little spring on this, and it does turn just like the Toys McCoy one does, but it's nowhere near the quality of the Toys McCoy. Pants are too short compared to the Toys McCoy. That's why I have them on a figure without ankle joints. These boots are just kind of pushed onto the bottom. And of course, the hat is garbage. It's just a little felt hat. And then the other thing is the head sculpt. The whip is okay. The whip seems to be a little bit oversized, but it's not bad. But the head sculpt is nowhere near. Let's do this. The head sculpt is nowhere near the Toys McCoy quality head sculpt. Let's see if I can get these to focus in. There we go. This one maybe looks like Harrison Ford's stepbrother. Why this one looks like Harrison Ford. Anyway, so it's a great figure for a substitute, but it is not the Toys McCoy. You can even tell in the jacket how this is a lot thinner. And this came out maybe a few years after the Toys McCoy, and you can see where like even the zipper on this is starting to turn green. But the leather, if it is leather, it's very wrinkly. It almost looks like it's been washed and hung up wet compared to how nice this jacket still looks and it's 20 years old. Also, this has got a real heavy shine to it compared to this. So despite the head sculpt, there's a lot of things that are different. Even the pants, like I said, are too short and they're almost brownish, where these have more of a tannish color to them and it looks more screen accurate. Anyway, we'll go ahead and move him out of the way. But I didn't just want to compare the Toys McCoy to the Relic Hunter. I also wanted to compare him to current Indiana Jones figures, which Sideshow recently put, pardon my arm, I'm reaching over here. Sideshow recently put out a Indiana Jones Temple of Doom figure, and we'll bring him in. Now he's highly detailed compared to like what 1/6 scale figures are. Now he's up on a higher stand, so he's a little bit taller. We'll take him off of that. But he is still much taller, and I've got him in kind of like a crouching position than the Toys McCoy. Now the head sculpt on the new one it's a really good head sculpt on the new Sideshow one. But again, we're talking last couple years, last couple decades. I mean, it's a huge difference. Again, great figure. There are a couple things with this one I had to do because his clothes were just way too clean. And if you've watched Temple of Doom at the end, his clothes are not pristine. And I also want to go ahead and change out his hat, because this hat is extremely tall for this figure, I think. He almost looks like he's wearing a top hat instead of a fedora. But compared to pieces from today to yesteryear, I still think the Toys McCoy holds up. Now granted, when you look at these two, one looks more like a museum piece and one does look like a toy. But if you collect toys or you collect figures, that's not a bad thing. I really love this figure. And I want you to hang back at the end of this, and what I'll do is I'm going to take some HD photos of Mike's figure so you can see it really well compared to like just what I did before, which I just did pictures of the figure in the box. And again, I want to thank Mike for providing the figure so we could do this and show it. And the only thing I didn't have to show you out of the box, let me go ahead and move Temple of Doom Indy out of the way. The only thing I didn't have to show you guys was the little sandbag and the instructions, which that's not that big of a deal. Mike had them. He just had forgot to include them and asked if I wanted them. I told him it was not a big deal. It was not a problem. But anyway, let me go ahead and take some HD photos here at the end so you can really see him up close and personal. And I thank you for watching. And again, this was Jace with Marshall Made Collectibles. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.